Good morning. I'm Pat Sheranian. You're listening to the Kyani Hour and watching. Glad that you're with us this morning and hope you're feeling good. My guest this morning is George Virl Osmond Jr. I just found out he's the oldest of the Osmond clan, and
I
we're very
am.
happy to have you here this
Oh,
morning.
it's a
Thank you.
pleasure to be with you here, Pat.
Thank you. Our sponsor, of course, is Kyani. And again, I want to share my story with you. It's really the most exciting thing that health wise has happened to me in 15 years. In July of 2010, I had the opportunity to start using the three Kyani products. That's Kyani, Kyani. And I was using the products every day. And within weeks, I was off of all medications for adult diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and no medications were needed. I now experience normal blood sugars, blood pressure, cholesterol, and for the past 14 months, I have felt wonderful with no medications, just Kyani. And my life has changed all for the better. Plus, the pain from arthritis in my hands is gone, and I have the energy of a person years younger. It has been amazing and wonderful. And if you would like to feel better and you're tired of being sick and tired, please call and let's talk some more. The number to call is 801 362 9552. 362 9552. And let's chat about your health and what we can do to help you feel better. You have had quite an experience, George Virl.
Yes, ma'am. I sure have. A lot of them.
Well, we don't have time for all of them this morning, but we can go through some of them. In particular, I have met some of the Osmonds years ago along the line, and then I was with another radio station. We were over in the Osmond building for years, and of course, we've all watched you all grow up on camera. But I didn't realize that you were number uno.
Well, I'm not only the oldest, but I'm the normal one in the family.
You're the normal one. I'll go with that. I don't have anything to judge it against. Therefore, I'll take your word for it.
My sister Marie might differ on that.
Yes, she might. We're happy to have you here this morning for you to take the time out of your day to come and talk about your experience with Kyani. And then Virl is in the middle of some other experiences too, and so I'm going to ask him to share those. But let's start because I saw the photos. The car was crunched like an accordion. I'd never seen a car look so bad in an
Oh,
accident.
it was terrible.
And you walked away from it, sort of. So why don't you share with us about the accident? Because after the accident, something happened that was really unique.
Hmm.
And let's hear about that.
Well, I'd be honored to share that. It was a traumatic experience. You see, most of my life I've had to struggle with my hearing problem. And the fact that my brothers and sister were up on stage and I didn't hear well enough to go up there and join them, to sing with them. And that has always been a trial for me. But as the years went by, I'm so glad I didn't get into show business. But this car accident really was profound. About 2.5 years ago, we were broadsided by a car coming through the red light, and my wife was driving. Fortunately, it hit the left side of the wheel, but it did cause enough of an impact that I almost went right through the windshield, even with the seatbelt. And what happened, Pat, is a day or two later, I developed a brainstem stroke from that awful experience after being hit on the head.
What does that mean?
Well, it get hit on the left side of the head. It
Okay.
caused the brain to be jarred, and blood vessels broke in the back of the brainstem. And so I was in the wheelchair for about 5.5 months, and then
Couldn't walk.
I couldn't walk at all. I finally got out of it, and I had to change my attitude about things. You see, as it says in the scripture, you become what you think about,
That's true.
you know? And so I started thinking, well, my body can take care of this. My body can heal the illness that I've had or the damage. And so I was introduced at that time by Mary Louise Zeller concerning Kyani. She got me on those products. Oh, my goodness. Even the next day, I started
I
feeling
know you had the same
Oh,
kind of experience
I had
we've
the
all
same
had.
experience you did.
Yep.
I felt a surge of energy going to my body. My body was craving for those elements, those antioxidants, the omega
Well, the
3s.
cells get disorganized and they run all over the place.
I know.
And so healing takes a while.
Yeah,
It really
it does.
does,
But I
and-
also think in tandem with that, you need to have a positive thinking attitude.
I'm sure of that.
Because
Sure of that.
if you think negative thoughts, you will attract by the law of attraction all things that are negative can impact in your life. But if you think positively, like, well, I'm okay now. I thank the Lord with gratitude that I'm still alive and that now that my body's taken over, all I got to do now is to give my body what it needs to do to heal. By golly, Kayani was just amazing. Not only the Kayani sunrise, but the sunset product, and let alone the wonderful product of the Nitro FX. And boy, when you hear the story, what those products do for the body, it's truly amazing, Pat.
Well, I know that this, the Sunrise, the large bottle,
Yeah,
is just 30 ounces of pure vitamins and minerals and blueberries off of the tundra in Alaska,
that's right.
which means they're so much more
Oh, but
powerful.
the blueberry, if you cut them in half, you'll notice that the insides of these blueberries, they're about this big.
Are they really? I
Oh,
didn't
they're
know they were
big
quite that big. So
blueberries.
they're a lot bigger
They're
than
not
ours.
like the little ones you buy at a commercial store, but they're just loaded with the antioxidants and vitamin and trace mineral. So I was putting into my body what my body needed to heal myself. And here I am today, out of a wheelchair. I did have a cane for a while, but I'm walking again.
I know, and
Can you
you would
believe
not
that?
know. You would not know.
I can get back to tap dancing now. I taught my brothers how to dance.
No, you
Oh,
didn't.
yeah, I'll have to tell you that story sometime.
Well, tell us now.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
well, my brothers were singing up in Ogden at the barbershop convention. These were Alan, Wayne, Merrill, Jane, little guys. They did a standing ovation. They did a beautiful job up there. But I was in the back seat on the way home to Ogden. I said, boy, I wish I had some talent. That really cut my mother to the quick. The next day, Pat, my mother enrolled me in a tap dance class with 14 girls. I was the only boy.
Terrible.
But I see in those days, in our music room in Ogden, father would send us out to learn different instruments. Merrill went out and learned the banjo and came home and taught his brothers. Alan learned to play the bass viol. And Jay learned the drums. We all came home and taught each other. Well, I came home and taught my brothers how to tap dance. So when Donnie won that award, Dancing with the Stars, I had to tap him on his shoulder the other day, and I said, Donnie, do you remember who taught you how to dance? He almost gave me that award.
You should
But anyway,
have.
I take great pride in knowing that I really did teach my brothers and sisters how to dance.
Do you still tap dance?
Oh, yes, I do. Boy, you should see me tap dance now. But I really do honestly need to give credit to the Coyote people for creating these formulations because those nutrients are so necessary for the body. The body can heal itself. You need that. But coupled with that, you need a positive attitude. And
I agree.
boy,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I have seen people that have taken it doesn't matter, prescriptions or products like this or whatever, but if they're convinced they're not going to get well, guess what?
what?
They don't.
They don't.
They don't. It
Because
takes
of
them
the law
much
of
longer,
attraction.
and they never feel quite the same. And I have seen people on these products that thought their life was over. And I had paid off my burial plot 2 years ago. I thought I'm tired. I'm checking out. I don't feel enthusiastic, and for me, that was a real tough spot. And I started on these products, and my life changed almost within the week. And by the end of the month, had completely changed, and I have not missed a day of having these products, taking them like I
And
should.
Pat, I likewise went through a very bitter time in recovery. I think it was my time to go. I was so
Yeah,
down and so
yeah.
discouraged. But until Mary Louise came into my life and introduced me to these wonderful products, I was not feeling good.
Did you know her before?
Oh, yeah. Well, her husband was Ron Zeller. Most
Right.
people know him in the business world, but she is such a remarkable lady. Oh,
Amazing. She won't, if you're around her, she will get them leave you if you
oh my
start
goodness.
talking about, oh, woe is me. She just disappears and quietly says, excuse me. And she won't allow that around her because she is so upbeat. And
Oh,
her life isn't that different than anyone else's. It
no.
really is an attitude. It
It's an
really is.
attitude thing, and when you see her up on stage talking, she not only has the ability to express herself with enthusiasm, with passion, but boy, did she find a product that is so necessary, especially today in this crazy world of ours where there's so much stress,
This
environmental factors.
the sockeye salmon, the omega 3. is, would you hold that up? Can you
Yeah,
reach
bet I
that little
will.
bottle? Yeah. This has been such a mood elevator for me.
Oh boy,
And it's a calming.
it
I have a
is.
calming effect, and then it comes up, it rises up just a little bit.
Coyote Sunset.
Oh,
Oh
it is
man.
just absolutely wonderful. That's from sockeye
And you know
salmon
about
in
the
the
sockeye
Alaskan waters.
salmon.
Yeah.
These salmon that they take up there are not infiltrated with the mercury poisoning that's in the waters. These salmons are healthy, and the omega-3 that come from that, oh, it's
Pure.
outstanding.
It's pure fish
Just
oil. Pure.
pure.
And no fish parts. And if you go, you can buy omegas everywhere.
Yeah.
But these are the purest on the planet. I'm convinced of it. And then let's just mention the Nitro FX there a little bit, because there's a Nitro Extreme, which is a sister. And athletes, I'll tell you, if you run or walk or ride a bike, you do any climbing over our mountains around Utah, these products are absolutely wonderful. They truly are, because the Nitro FX came along first, and just about 6 months ago,
Right.
they introduced the Extreme.
The Extreme.
So I take the Extreme in the morning, and then that opens up everything.
Well, my neurologist, I've had two doctors that told me that whatever's in my bloodstream, that nitric oxide, is really doing the work.
This is making it happen.
They've acknowledged that.
Yeah, this doesn't create, this is not nitric oxide. It helps your body to create
That's right.
what we had when we were a little younger.
Yeah.
A little
But
younger.
you see that nitric oxide that the body creates on the thin layer of the blood vessel is what gets rid of the cholesterol and the toxin that's in our blood. It's not created naturally.
Just cleans it all up.
Cleans it right out. And I attribute this to enhance the blood vessel and the damage that we've done up here in my brainstem stroke to be relieved.
It opens everything
It
up.
opens everything up.
It does. It really does. So
Oh, yeah.
we would encourage you to try it. And this is a great company because you can try the products. It is a network marketing company, but you can be a customer,
Oh, yeah.
and it's delivered straight to your house. And it's just the easiest thing I've ever gone through. If you know a lot of people like Virl does worldwide, then you want to be a distributor. And because being a distributor not only lets you share it and you have a little extra money and you feel better, but all your friends then get to share it.
Yeah, most of my friends out there's some of them that don't really like network marketing, but they're so happy with the product.
Absolutely.
And it really is beneficial for the body.
Well, we're going to talk about some other things because you're here
Oh.
and you're well.
Oh, dear.
You're
I'm on
here.
the spot again.
He's got a really strange sense of humor, I'm telling you, because you've got some things going on. And actually, I'm going to start at the last thing you told me. You told me something's coming up in Wyoming. We weren't planning on talking about this, but he's a little scruffy this morning.
Oh, boy.
So, and I just had seen him a couple of days ago, and I thought, you can't probably see this, but he's kind of scruffy with a little beard going on this morning and a little growth. And I said, what's this? Now, then you tell your story of what's
Okay.
happening.
Well, on Father's Day next year, we're going to commemorate the life of my great-grandfather, George Osmond, whom I'm named after, who was sent up there by Brigham Young to settle in that valley as the first stake president.
In Wyoming, where?
In Afton, Wyoming.
Afton, Wyoming.
Uh-huh. And we're going to commemorate his life. And so the mayor up there and some of the people in the city council asked if I would grow my beard and look like my great-grandfather. And I've got a picture. If I grow my beard, I do look like him. The normal one.
The
But anyway,
normal one, of course.
I'm looking forward to that. It'll be an opportunity. They're also planning the church is building a temple up there. So there's a lot of fun things going on 1 year from now.
And
So I got to get ready for
You're
that.
going to grow this for a year?
Oh, I hope so.
Where will it be? I mean, does it grow down to down?
Oh, it was just probably about down to here.
Okay.
I'll have to bring you a picture next time I see you of my
All right.
great-grandfather
Okay.
and what I hope to look like.
All right. That'll be fun. Well, now you're doing so many things that when we met up the first time a couple
Well,
of
thanks
weeks
to
ago,
Kayani, I'm doing a lot of things.
You
I've
are.
got more energy.
and it's not legal to have the kind of energy I have at my age. I know it's not. I might be arrested any moment. Let's talk about some of the other things that you've been
Okay.
doing that you were involved in. You've mentioned something that's going on down in Mexico.
That's right. My brother married a boy, Justin Osmond. He's also hearing impaired. is behind our organization. My mother and I, we started the Osmond Foundation together,
I
which
didn't
now
know that.
today is called the Children's Miracle Network.
Right.
But Justin went ahead and formed another foundation called the Olive Osmond Perpetual Hearing Fund. What we want to do with this foundation is to raise money to buy hearing aids for children, families that cannot afford them. Now, we was just down in Guadalajara, Mexico, about a month ago, and I was one of 35 volunteers. We fitted 12,000 hearing aids on little Mexican children down there.
12,000.
12,000 hearing aids in 3 days. Oh, it was exhausting.
Well, now wait, where did you get the hearing aids?
Well, Starkey Corporation and Olive Osmond Perpetual Hearing Fund purchased these hearing aids for those children.
Wow.
And the president of the Starkey Corporation up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, after this event was over, he put me on his private jet and flew me up to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and put new hearing aids on me. I've got 4 computers on me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Smart guy you are.
Pat, I got to tell you, I can hear better than a normal person now. Why? Because my left ear is about 85 decibels, and my right ear was about a loss of 90 decibels. They raised it all the way up to 20 level, which is close to normal.
Wow.
I can either be deaf or I can be normal by turning them off or on.
That's called selective hearing.
It's interesting, the Bluetooth technology that's in these hearing aids. I can sit in a room with about 30 people, and let's say you and I are trying to have a conversation. These hearing aids will shut everything off except you and me.
Wow.
Really?
That is really different.
And another thing, another feature is that I can watch television with the sound off. My wife made a comment the other day. She said, "Honey, please turn the television sound off so I can go to sleep." Sure enough, she turned it off, but I heard it all through the night.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
You told a cute story about your dog.
Oh, my goodness.
I love this story. This is a cute story.
Well, but just a few nights. Well, this was just about a month ago just after I got back from Minneapolis, Minnesota with these new hearing aids. I heard this little walking down the hall, and I said, "Chris, what was that?" "Oh, George." She called me George. "It's Molly, the dog." I never heard that before.
You never heard her?
No, not like that. So then 15 minutes later, I heard a sniff. And I looked out the window and I said, "Chris, did you hear that sound out there?" "Oh, George, it's Molly sniffing." I didn't know.
You'd never heard that.
No, and I never heard crickets outside either. The hearing aid today, when I was a boy, they were this big. I had to wear them.
Strapped
big.
onto you.
Yeah, with hearing plug coming up to my ears. Very embarrassing. And now look at the technology we have today. It's just all here in the ear.
You can't even see
They
it.
can't even see it.
You can't see it.
It is amazing, the technology that we have today.
Your mother had a special way of teaching you over the years. I did just share a little bit of that because it's interesting how was it color or I can't remember exactly.
Oh yeah, there was a machine that she had. This was back in the 50s and the 60s. Mako Corporation had developed a machine about this tall and this wide that if you speak into it, it lights up certain colors. So if I didn't say a word correctly, the color wouldn't come up. So my mother would drill and drill and drill, so I would talk like a normal person. Now, most people that know me say, "Oh, you're not deaf," but I am. Or when you still have an accent, I do. But isn't it amazing? If you look at some of the other deaf people in your associations, they have a monotone sound when they talk. Not with me. And I contribute that to my mother.
Oh, bless
She
her heart.
just
Bless
worked
her
with
heart.
me over and over. That's the kind of mother I had.
Did you and Tom work together?
Yes. Tom has a more profound hearing loss, and he doesn't quite have the ability to say or speak as I do, but he learned to play the piano. He worked he's almost retiring from the Postal Service. He's really bright, Tom is. And what's interesting about Tom and me and our family is my mother and my father both always saw opportunities out there so that we would be a part of the family organization. Even over there at the studio where you were, I would work in the costume department, in the scene set design.
They made sure you guys didn't.
I was so
you
busy.
had to pull your weight.
Yeah. Tom was the printer. He had his own color press. We printed off posters, and we made Donnie purple socks, Donnie T-shirts. We had a beautiful fan club, and I was the publisher there. We published 8 books, and we both, Tom and I, were the photographer for the store. Every
I didn't
time
know
the
that.
entertainers would come in to do a show, we would go out and take pictures, and then we would go down to the lab, and we would develop the film and have a press release kit ready to go the next day. Mother and father kept us so busy. We were glad not to perform.
It's such a great success story. And let's talk about what you are doing. You help the children in Mexico now. Is that an ongoing thing? And then you're doing something up in Idaho.
We just got back from Idaho yesterday. We had a whole group of tourists from the Netherlands came over and they wanted to see some of the Osmond sites. So they asked me to go up there and show them the homestead of my mother, who was born in Samaria, Idaho.
Samaria, Idaho. Where is that?
That's Samaria, Idaho, near Malad.
Yeah, okay.
It's right near Malad. And they brought the old cabin, the 2-room cabin, down off the hill and set it up there and remodeled it, fixed it up. It's a beautiful little thing. It's amazing what our ancestors had to go through. But I went up there, and when I came back to Ogden on the bus with them, showed them all the different sites in Ogden where we grew up, the post office my father had, and the school we
So
went
was he
to.
the postmaster, your dad?
Well, my father was actually in real estate and insurance,
Okay.
but he had a little post office within the office there,
Okay.
which my mother and he ran. And us boys, we would put the stamps on and pack them all up and then ship them off. But that's where Tom learned to enjoy being in the Postal Service business.
Okay.
But we showed him all these different sites, and where my father got his first job at KLO Radio in Ogden. He just told him the whole history. I was exhausted by the time I got back.
Telling him the history. That's a lot of years now.
Yeah, but it was fun. And to have the energy level to be able to do that, like the Kiani. Oh, man.
You also, you're doing some things. Well, I should interrupt you there. So what did you do? You went up with this group to take the tour of the Osmond life, really.
Yeah.
And these things have all been, can anybody go and look at where this little cabin
absolutely. If they go on the website and look up the Olive Osmond cabin, they can probably.
Is it just Osmond?
Well, if they look up the Olive Osmond Perpetual Hearing Fund.com.
Okay.
Olive Osmond Perpetual Hearing Fund.com. You'll see the inside story of all of that. Well, you know that my brother, they have many sites. So between all of us, Alan, Wayne, Merrill, Jay, Donnie, Marie, Jimmy, myself, and Tom, we get about 1.9 million hits a month on those websites, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all over the country. We've got fan clubs in England, France, Switzerland, Japan. You know that Jimmy, when he was 5 years old, he cut his first gold record over there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
And you should see his fan club. It's huge. Oh, my goodness. We have this
Really
wonderful.
are a dynasty. The Osmonds really are a dynasty.
Well, we have a
They're
lot of
American
friends,
royalty.
and it's all because of my mother, Mother Osmond's kids. She personally answered every letter that she got from fans. And that's why all through the year they loved my mother, because she had an interest in them. And they have followed us over the years. They're still with us.
Just amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
They've grown up. They've grown up with you. Sure.
Yeah.
They're still watching.
And so when they come over here on tours, it's always a pleasure to hug them and shake hands with them and talk about their.
Who manages the fan clubs now?
Well, it's, we have representatives in those countries that manage the fan club there, like we have a 250,000 membership fan club in England. But we have special people who watch over those different fan clubs.
That's
to
really
keep them
interesting.
informed what the family is doing.
What is the family doing?
Oh, you sure you want to get into that?
Yeah, I do. We got time. We got nothing but time this morning.
Well, first of
Kiani
all,
is our sponsor, and if you want to know more, please call 801-362-9552. 362-9552. Yes. Okay.
I think one of the wonderful sites to go on to is the oneheart.org.
Oneheart.org.
Yeah,
Okay.
oneheart.org. It's a One Heart Foundation. And then there's thefamily.com. This is all headed up by my brother Alan, to show people ways of strengthening the family. The structure and the core of the family is breaking down nowadays. We need to reinstate father in his rightful place. Mother needs to come back home and in her role as a mother. Without them, a family cannot function.
It's so tough, though. There's so few people have enough income, particularly right now.
It is sad. However, there are ways, and my brother Alan has, and his team of people have put together articles and excerpts of how and what they can do to strengthen the family. And one of them touches on financial side. But then if you look at each one, like Donnie.com,
Just Donnie.com.
yeah,
Okay.
Marie.com, and J.net. I mean, if you look at go on there and Google, look up Osmond websites, you'll see all these different websites. Quite entertaining. There's some things I didn't know about my brother. Hello.
Like the rest of us, you have to go on the computer and go to Facebook to find out what your family's doing.
But I am very, very proud of my family.
Now, Donnie and Marie are still performing.
They are. They're down at the Flamingo Hotel, and they just put on a fabulous show, Pat. You need to go down there.
I've been there. Remember, that's when I first met you a year ago. We were down. A whole group of Kyani. We were invited down. We went to the Flamingo. We were ushered past everybody. And boy, I wound up sitting right in front of them. I thought I had a private show. Right smack it. It's a great show. The energy is...
don't they?
The energy they both put out for that hour or two is just unbelievable, really, because they have lives. They have lives. They're raising children. They're raising grandchildren in some cases.
You know what I think? I think if Donnie and Marie would take Kyani, they would have even more energy.
Should we get after that?
I think we should go after.
Okay, we're going to go after Donnie and Marie to get on Kyani. Sometimes it's just a matter of being in the right place and talking to somebody at the right moment.
I think so.
Those two people are so busy, it's hard to get to them, but we'll get there.
I have to tell you, in all honesty, Kyani is an incredible product.
Have you met the owners?
I have.
Amazing,
wonderful
good,
people.
sweet people, honest
people.
Good integrity.
Really. But it's the ingenuity and the formulation that we brought together that's so powerful.
You know, they had one objective in that they didn't need the money.
No,
they all were independently wealthy.
They didn't need the money at all.
Very successful in their businesses.
This is a blessing to the world to help people.
That's it.
We strengthen their bodies again because we've gone through so much turmoil in our environment that it broken down the defense mechanism and the immune system of the body. It's time to build that immune system again so we can take care of it.
Our culture in this country is not to prevent. It's to get sick as a dog and then scramble and try and get better. I think the Asians have figured it out. Take the products so that you don't get sick, so that you don't contact or the genes that have been dormant in your body, that they don't suddenly get triggered and you have stage 4 cancer. So I got it. And what I got was, okay, I feel good. And I'm after 14 years of medications for diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, arthritis, not feeling good, being tired. I will take this. I feel great, and I don't want to find out I might not feel great. So it's my food supply.
You know, Pat, you're so right. And if we've got to also realize that the body can take care of itself. We don't need to go after all these pharmaceutical things. The drugs nowadays are causing a side effect for this and side effect for that. I really believe that if we follow nature's laws and help the body to get those nutrients that it really needs, and the body can take care of itself, coupled with the right attitude. You've got to think positive.
Think positive, and you can't take these products. I lost weight and still losing weight, okay? You cannot do that if you keep eating cookies and Twinkies, and you have to stop all that and eat a healthy diet. And then these things really, these Kyani products really work. I mean, they just go to town. I know Mary Louise talked about being a Taekwondo champion, how her body healed quicker. Your body healed quicker, and you came out of this stronger than you were. And so, Kyani for you. That's what we're doing this morning. We're talking about Kyani for you.
Kyani for you.
You have been working with some Indian nations too, and I thought that might be interesting to talk about this morning.
Well, I couldn't have done it without the Kyani energy. What's interesting that's going on up there, I'm in the Northern Cheyenne, Pat.
Now, how did you meet these folks?
Well, I'm involved with the Chainbreaker Foundation here locally, Women in Distress. and I'll get into that sometime. But right now,
We have time.
with the Indian women up there, do you know there's no grandfathers and grandmothers up there right now?
They've
Because the life
passed.
expectancy is 43. Yeah. And so all these little women, some of these men have gone off, left their wives and their families. And it's so sad to see that. And here's these little women. Some of them are living out of cars, Pat. And they were taking on all these orphans. And most families have like 6, 7, 8, even more children that they're trying to care for.
Where the parents have passed away?
Yeah.
Or left them, or just abandoned them?
Dysfunctional, or they're alcoholic. And a lot of them have diabetes really bad. You'll see a lot. Almost every third person has one leg on because of awful diabetes.
And
they
where
don't
is
have
this?
enough
This is
resources
in
to take care of their body.
Is this in Colorado?
No, this is up in Montana.
I mean, Montana.
Yeah, northern Cheyenne. And we have focused on them, and I have a partner with the Morning Star Project Foundation. I'd like to bring Pam in one of these days, let her tell you the story. But Dr. Pam Mays and I are putting together shipping of food, and clothing, and blankets, and things like that. And let alone, we want to get the Kyani product up to them.
My guest today is George Virl Osmond Jr., and he is the oldest of the clan, and he tells me he's the wisest, and I believe it.
Well, I'm the normal one in the family. Marie will differ, but I am the oldest.
Is there somewhere they can call or bring things, people that have blankets or clothing? People generally want to help, and when you talk about these sweet little women up there who really are managing by themselves and taking on other children, it's got to be hand-to-mouth existence.
What they could do in the meantime, because I'm building the website for them at the moment, not quite up yet, they could email me personally by typing in Virl Osmond, that's my middle name, VIRLOSMOND, one word, lowercase, .morningstar@gmail.com.
Okay, say it again.
VirlOsmond.morningstar@gmail.com.
Okay.
And I will get the information up to him. My brother Alan's working on getting a bunch of blankets and hats and things like
But
that.
if they have something to donate, could they let you know
They can let me know, and I can make arrangements to pick it up.
Okay.
But they're so in need. And we're
That's
going to be doing.
worldwide. You will make arrangements.
I will make arrangements. There's trucking lines here in Utah are willing to help ship those items up there. But there's such a distress, women in distress. Honestly, my heart goes out for those little sisters of mine. So then we've got some high school here in the valley that are going to make a Christmas project to help sponsor some of these families.
I heard that.
Isn't that
That's
fun?
so great.
We'll have that on the website too.
Okay.
But that's coming up. But in the meantime, if you just email me at virlosmond.morningstar@gmail.com, I'll give them that information.
This chain breakers that you mentioned.
There's a lot of domestic abuse going on in our community. Very sad. But many of these women come there at the Foundation House over on 1330 West, 165 North to get some help. Well, I go and I sit on the financial committee there to find dollars to help them with their phone so they can communicate with their families. The money to buy food, help them to find shelter. Oh, it just blows my mind to see these little gals trying to survive with 4, 5, 6 children of their own. I just don't know how they do it.
Well, there are a number of you that have been gracious with your giving, and you've worked hard to build situations where people locally and then around the country really have some help.
Now, if you want to help those folks here locally, you can go online and see chainbreaker.org or .com. And
Either one, .org or .com. Okay.
And they will give you the information that's going on. There's such a need for women in distress right now. This spring, my brother Merrill is going to perform a benefit concert on behalf of the Chainbreaker Group at the Utah Valley University.
Coming up in 12.
In this spring, next year,
Next year.
2012. And I'll give you that information later. But boy, there's a crying need to help our sisters right now.
So if somebody's in distress and they have no one to tell, is this a place locally that they could go?
Absolutely.
In the Utah Valley area?
They will show them the resources available. They also have lots of clothes over there that the women could try on. Clothes for the children as well.
So that if they're trying to get a job, they can put together a
They could
decent
even help
outfit.
them with that as well.
When I was with the Provo Arm Chamber of Commerce, really for a number of years, we had an opportunity to meet with some folks that were doing that. I don't think it was this group, but I was amazed, really amazed at how many women, it took them years to admit that they had been abused.
Oh, big time.
And then I need to mention this too. There are men that are abused. They get locked into situations, and it becomes, I think, terrifying for everyone. I don't think men are so worried about the kind of physical abuse that we think of with women, but the verbal abuse and emotional abuse.
Yeah.
We're
We
not
have,
we're not always kind to each other.
Yeah. It's mostly domestic abuse on the women and the children, but there are some men that we are helping too.
Are you? Oh,
Yes,
good.
we are. It's a wonderful organization of women who have volunteered their time and their efforts. Joan Shippen is the CEO or director of that. And Joan brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to help these ladies. And it just thrills me to see these gals being helped like that because it's so needed right now.
Sometimes it's just one person listening to you.
Oh, yeah.
One person can make a difference in your life if you're in that kind of situation. I was over the singles in Southern California for a number of years, and I heard stories and saw things that I could not believe were happening. But the worst of it was that they lived with those feelings for so many years, and there's so much damage that happens to them. Some of them, you've got to feel pretty good to get up in the morning and go out and find a job, go out and keep a job, and then come home and balance the act of raising children by yourself. And it never lets up. You don't get a day to breathe, really.
That's right, Pat. There's such a lot of trauma in their lives, and it'll stop them in their tracks. They don't know where to go. And
paralysis,
now we have
emotional paralysis.
That's just what it is, emotional paralysis. But there are things available for them right now. If they want to email me at that same email address, at virl@morningstar@gmail.com, I can lead them, give them information
help them get
about
to the right information.
I can help them.
You're involved in so many foundations, and your family has been.
I've been growing for that. Started when my mother and I formed the Osmond Foundation, which later became the Children's Miracle Network. We have 133 hospitals across the country. 100% of the donations go to the hospital. Yeah. And because of that experience, I'm able at a point in my life right now to reach out and help others. But I am so concerned for the women distressed today. I don't know how those gals do it. So we've got to reach out and help them. We already have services that are now available. And if we can get their bodies with some of the wonderful products like Kyani to help them get their energy levels back up where they can think and have energy, their bodies are depleted as well.
Mentally and physically. I
Mentally
know they're just
and physically,
exhausted.
they're exhausted.
You're watching us on pat.utahvalleylive.com, and we appreciate you being with us this morning. My guest is George Virl Osmond Jr. I love saying that. I didn't realize you were the oldest.
I got a fan.
That's a new fan this morning. No, I've always appreciated the Osmonds. And the people have no idea the energy it takes to do the things that you folks have done over the years. And we started, if you just joined us this morning, talking about a terrible automobile accident that Virl was in about 2.5 years ago, the kind that no one expected him to walk away from. And he wheeled away in a wheelchair for a while, and then with a cane.
Yeah, cane.
And now he's running around chasing people. So
well, not quite. I do fall down once in a while.
You told me
I will
that the
tell you
other
this,
day.
Pat. I've got energy.
You do. I know you do. And it's
well, I tell you this. But you really do need a good attitude. You become what you think about. Don't think negative thought. Start thinking positive thought, as though it's already here. But do supplement your body with those wonderful ingredients that Mother Nature has given us so that the body can take care of itself.
And it will.
And it will.
It will. Do you have any other fun things you'd like to tell us?
Oh, I got lots of things, but I'll hold that for another time.
Well, we've got some time, and so we're going to explore your life a little bit more. I was looking to see if I'd
like to talk a little more about the schoolroom up in Ogden.
The school in Ogden.
Yeah. My father I always felt, my mother did too, that we needed to have a family night once a week. This is way before the church had the family
Family
home
home
evening.
evening.
Every Friday night. And my father built that music, took up the whole attic and converted it into a music room. That's what all got started. And next
Right in
thing,
an
the
attic.
old oaken bucket, you know that song?
Yep.
Well, he cut Alan apart, and then Wayne apart, and Mel his part, and Jay. Each one had a 4-part harmony. My brothers were good. Even in those days, I could hear. But and then we had saxophone. I've learned to play the saxophone and the piano. Oh, we had every instrument you can imagine. But it was a fun time. And then right after we had our music up there, we all came downstairs. Mother had a beautiful table all set out with the best china, and we had a little blue vase on the middle of the table with candlelight. And it was so special. Friday nights, we looked forward to that. And then
That was your family home evening.
that was our
before it was
our
evening.
family night. And we had our music for a couple of hours, came down and had a good meal. And then Father would line us all up with a dish towel. And we had those dishes cleaned in 10 minutes. And we even had our dessert. Well, we loved to make the frozen ice cream. We'd line up and turn the bucket over and over.
Nobody does that anymore.
No, they don't do that anymore. They put ice and salt. But we had ice cream in 15 minutes because we kept turning that darn thing over and over. We just line up and do it. But those were happy times. Those are memories you never forget. And advice to parents who have children, always remember not to pass judgment on them, but cover them with love.
That's a good way to put it.
Cover them with love. Love them unconditionally. And they'll always maintain that. And if you teach them correct principles, they'll always come back to that.
Sooner or later.
But in a home setting, you need to have love. And that's what Mother and Father did. That was our security. My best friends were my brothers.
Oh, well, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about the school in Ogden.
School in Ogden. Well, that was home at school. I mean, the family room. But Tom and I used to go to Utah school. No, for the deaf in Ogden.
Okay.
This is where I learned sign language. This is why we speak fluently sign language. And but my brothers did go to elementary school, but when they got on the road and started performing, then they had the homeschooling program with American School back east. And every time they went into a studio setting to perform, they had required by law, especially in California, where a tutor had to be on the premise to keep their education going. So their home study program was implemented, and boy, my brothers really excelled in their home study.
With all of those children, and then the two special children, you and Tom, that in itself is a balancing act if they weren't doing anything else.
There's 9 children, Pat.
And
8 boys and 1 girl.
So in the school, if they created a deaf school, or there was a deaf school?
There was a deaf school. Tom and I were institutionalized, but Mom and Dad wouldn't let us stay there. We would always come home every night. But when I started to speak as well, a lot better, they took me out of the deaf school and mainstreamed me into public school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, man, that was a struggle for me. I didn't talk well then. But, boy, I learned to fast. I merged right into the normal society. And my brother Tom stayed on. Then I went on a mission to Canada.
Oh.
Yes, and I was called on a special mission to pilot a program under the direction of John Longden, who was the general authority then, up in Alberta, Canada, Edmonton, Canada. And I rewrote the discussion. We wrote, we had to set aside a certain ward in that area, to teach members of the church how to communicate with the deaf using sign language. So Tom came up and joined me on his call.
So as we're talking, you could be signing?
Yeah, I could be signing as we're talking with you, right?
Oh, there you go.
But Tom, he would come with me. He was called on a mission to come up there and join me. I had him as a missionary companion for 6 months.
Oh, my.
Can you believe that?
No, that's interesting.
But it was successful. We were able to have, we taught the members of the church how to socialize, how to communicate with the deaf, as we fellowshiped them in. When I got home from my mission, I was then met my sweetheart, Chris Osmond, my wife, and then we moved up to...
I'm allergic to you.
Oh, dear.
Sorry. It's winter in Utah, and I'm starting already.
I'm so sorry, Pat.
Okay. I do have a question that came up
Yes.
in the middle of that. The boys really were, and Marie, they were on a mission of a sort. So
Yeah.
they didn't go on individual church Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint
President
missions.
Kimball, at that time, of course, he's the one that dedicated the studio, the studio.
You told me that.
Dedicatory prayer, beautiful. But he called him into his office with some of the other brethren there and said, Alan was contemplating going on a mission at the time. He said, you know what you could really do best is that you're already on a mission. Alan, Wayne, Merrill, Jay, Donnie, Marie, and Jimmy were already on a mission. And
Excuse us, we have to take a cell phone call here.
I can hear.
You're funny. Okay, where were we?
The boys were told by the brethren in Salt Lake that they were already on a mission. And of course, at that time, Paul Dunn was heading up the missionary department. A lot of mail was coming in. If you can comprehend it, I'm sorry, guys.
Now we turn it off.
I got lots of friends out there.
1, 2. Kidding.
I got some wonderful friends. Oh, I love my friend. But anyway, Paul Dunn headed up the missionary department for the brother for the Osmond. If you can comprehend, Pat, take a room about this size. Mail was up about this high. Every third letter was about, tell me about the Mormon church, what you believe in.
Oh, my goodness.
Good heavens. My wife and my mother both would answer those letters. So it opened a lot of doors for people to learn more about the church. And so.
Tell me about meeting Chris.
I fell in love with her at sight. She was sitting, we both met at the wrong time. When I say that, I mean, daylight saving time or word changes over time or whatever. We met in the foyer and I was teaching her sign language. Oh, she was so fascinated with that. And I taught her how to sign. And our first date was on Halloween.
I'm not going to comment on that.
And then about 2 weeks later, we got married. And then our first son was born on Halloween. You know what else is spooky? Our second boy was born on Halloween, too.
Your second boy?
Yeah.
You've got 2 kids born on Halloween?
I got 2 children born 1 year apart. Yeah. But Jared, my second boy, he was actually born just 2 or 3 hours late. So he's technically born on the 1st of November, I mean. Well, anyway, Jared and Heather have a beautiful store right up here called Osmond Design. It's some of the most beautiful furniture store I've ever seen. From all over the world.
These are your kids?
My son, Jared, yeah.
Interesting.
Now, and of course, my oldest son, he's a senator, Utah senator here. Yeah, Aaron Osmond going in for re-election. My second boy, Jared, Heather, he's a building contractor. He's also had the Osmond Design store. My third child is Virginia. She's married to a CEO of a pharmaceutical company down in Northern California. My fourth child is David. He used to be the road manager for the Osmond brothers. He now works for a stock exchange entity up in Salt Lake. And then there's Olivia, my daughter. She's expecting a little one. Hey, I've got 7 children.
She named after your mom.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Patricia, which is my Chris's mother. But I have 27 grandkids now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 27. This will be my 28th. Then there's Hiram, who works for Disney Studios as an animator. If you look at that film Disney put out called Tangle.
Yes, it was.
That was the little horse. That's in there.
Yes,
like a dog.
Great horse.
He drew that. He also in Bolt, a little movie about a little dog named Bolt. If you look at the little hamster and the ball, he did that part.
Oh, I love it.
So he loved working for Disney Studios, animator. Joseph, my youngest, is now an attorney. Just got back from George Washington University back east. He's now passed the bar exam, and he's going into child services.
Oh.
So he used to be our little policeman here at Orem City. Police service.
So they've all turned out good.
Yeah, in spite of me. And they all are good looking because of their mother.
Oh,
so I need to give her the credit.
Oh,
you
that's
know.
so sweet.
But I'm very happy to have these grandchildren. You know, they come over to my house. I have to turn my hearing aids off.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
noise
they're
level
loud.
gets.
I get on the floor and I tickle and wrestle, and then I send them home. Pretty neat, huh?
It's a neat deal. Hey,
Yeah,
I get to brag a bit. I've got 15 grandchildren.
good.
I had 5 children. My daughter's deceased, but I have 4 sons. And so I have the 15 grandchildren, and then I'm about to have, well, I had 3 great grandchildren, and then I had, I claim my grandson and his wife had twin boys about six
Oh,
months ago.
wow.
And then I just found out recently another grandson and his wife are having twins also.
Cool.
And I'm just about obnoxious talking about all these great grandchildren.
You have a right to.
I'm really proud of them. Kayani is our sponsor today, and we are proud of it. I could not do the things that I am doing if it were not for Kayani. I have the energy. I run all day long. I swim early in the morning. I am constantly on the move. I don't remember feeling this good even years ago, but I do have the energy that I had, and I can count on it. I can count on it every single day. And you know, as you get older, some days are good and some days aren't as good. But the Kayani has made it possible for me to have consistent days where I just really am full of energy, raring to go every day, looking forward to what's coming up next, excited about meeting new people and getting involved in new projects and new things with people like you. I do have a question about the family. As the families are, I've noticed mine, as they get bigger, they move away, they're living in different places.
Hmm.
Do you guys still try to get together? And when you do,
It's a
do they
madhouse.
sing? It's a bad house. Where is big enough to get everybody together? You have to rent a hall.
Well, we're starting to start a reunion on our father's birthday and our mother's birthday twice a year now. But you can imagine, my brothers are always together performing together. So the last thing I want to do is see them again.
Just get together.
So what's happened is that each one of my brothers and my sister have kind of spent time with their family, their children, and their grandchildren. And they have their reunions and family get-togethers. However, us siblings want to do this twice a year on our father's birthday and mother's birthday. This is coming up.
And how many are there now? You started with
Oh, please don't ask. I lost count. I've forgotten how many great-grandchildren there are.
bunches.
A whole bunch.
It's got
There's
to
too
be.
many Osmonds around here.
There are people that would argue there are never enough Osmonds. There's so much talent. But that was my question: is when you get together, because they do sing together still so much. Do the younger kids get together and sing?
They do.
I know there was at one time there were some cousins,
Yeah.
Osmond cousins.
Well, that's one nice thing about my brother's children. They're all these cousins get together on their own, and they do have wonderful time together. Just
Are any
amazing.
of them entertaining now? I know that
Uh,
there was a group of cousin Osmonds that were singing together.
Every one of my brothers have a child or children who are into show business, but we've never forced it on him.
No, I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and says we're going to force this lifestyle on you because it is a
basically
difficult
picked up
lifestyle.
an interest and love for music. They're inborn with that. And so, like my daughter Virginia, she sang at the Osmond Family Theater back in Branson, Missouri. My son Jared, he sings often. He's gotten back from a European tour performing over there. And so we encourage our children to, follow after the footsteps of their aunt and uncles, but never force it. Yeah, we do. And the cousins do get together, and boy, they have more fun than we do.
Well, I'm thinking there must be 100 or 200 of you when you all get together now. Quite a group.
Did you make count? I lost count.
Do you have anything coming up that we should know about personally that we would be interested? We're all interested. It's sort of like lifting the blind and letting us see what's going on.
Yeah, we're going to bring Dr. Pam Mays online one of these first days soon to talk about the Northern Cheyenne, the Women in Distress program. We're going to
What's
talk about,
what's the long range there?
well,
What is
it's just in a few days. We're going to talk about the big Christmas trees that we're going to have brought down from the canyons, installed by the high school. We're going to talk about the kids in the high school here locally that are going to sponsor some of these families. But the big thing coming up is in the spring where Merrill Osmond is going to perform live here at the Utah Valley University. We're trying to put that all together. It's going to be a wonderful concert.
And is that going to be for a particular charity or?
It's going to be for combination the chain breaker as well as for the women up in northern Cheyenne. There's just so many wonderful things that we can all participate in to help others. This is what the Lord would have us to do. It's take care of the widows and the orphan. Isn't that what the gospel's all about?
That's what it's all about. That's what life's all about.
You bet.
Should be that we're doing that. You mentioned your mom and dad. They created this dynasty, and I know that your dad was pretty much the disciplinarian, but your mother certainly had a heavy hand in the training. I don't mean it heavy that way, a strong hand.
No, well, she was the neck that controlled the head. It really takes both kind of parents to cover them with love, but there needs to be a discipline here. You cannot survive in that crazy world of show business without a strong father and a sweet and saintly mother to teach us basic principles. So we were sheltered from the things of the world, and yet we're in the world. And when people saw the beauty of a family, unity that we had, that they picked up on that. But I wrote a book before my mother passed away. I took care of her for 2.5 years before she passed away, and then I took care of my father for another 2.5 years. I told my brothers and sisters, I said, you'll never know the joy that I had taking care of them, because I was with them to the last day. But anyway, my mother asked me one day, she said, son, on my desk are journals. She said, Mother, they're just that long. Okay, I want you to take some excerpts out of those journals that I've written and put it into a book form and give it to my children. Now, as far as mother was concerned, all the boys and girls in the world were her children too. So I wrote this book, The Untold Story of Olive Osmond.
The Untold Story of Olive Osmond. Okay.
Yeah, and if you will...
is it out there where people can get it?
It's out there right now. It's on, if you look it up on Amazon.com, you can even get a downloaded book.
Okay.
An ebook on that. OnyxPress.com. Onyx Press. But if you want to just email me, I can send you that information about the book.
Let's give the email again.
It's VirlOsmond.morningstar@gmail.com.
And you can have information about the chain breakers. You can have information of where to bring clothing and blankets for these lovely sisters up in
Northern
Cheyenne.
All other projects pertaining to charity work will be on there. And also regarding my mother's book.
And then each of the Osmonds have their own websites.
Yeah. If you go online and Google Osmond websites, you'll see them all.
You get to see all of it. You can spend your whole day.
Oh, you'll see some of the cousins on their website. It's beautiful. Well done.
Well, this has been fun to have you with me today. And Kayani is the reason he's feeling as good as he is, the reason that I am, and it's the reason we want you to feel good too. So if you want to know more about how to be involved, how to receive or get or pick up or in any way be involved with the Kayani Company, it's 801-362-9552, 362-9552. I'll be back today at noon. With a program about Utah Valley, what's happening, what's going on. So I'll be streaming, and I'll also be on KHQN 1480 on your AM dial. So we look forward to having you back with us and appreciate your being here. It's just been more than amazing to have you with me. I mean, you are such old showbiz, and we're all just the new kids on the block, So we appreciate your time this morning.
I'm very grateful for this invitation, Pat. And I truly...
I understand you're the real sweet one. You're the real nice guy.
Well, I'm the normal one. But I have to tell you in all honesty, that if it weren't for the Coyote product, I would not have had that kind of level of energy.
And we appreciate the energy that you have today. And I'm so grateful for my energy. I'd like to thank Kent Vorkink, who owns UtahValleyLive.com. We appreciate him and the website and channel that he has, and that he takes care of us and gets us on the air. Thank you for being with us today. This is Pat Sheranian wishing you a great day and be healthy.
And thank you too.